Elvis was probably 15 or 16 when I met him. Now he, on some occasions, would have a guitar with him, but I mean, that wasn't anything extraordinary in itself. But we soon found out, the more we were around Elvis, we found out he did have a real love for music, and he took a lot of ribbing and a lot of kidding about that. Because who among teenage boys ever thought Elvis Presley would later become the Elvis Presley? No one. We thought he was a guy like the rest of us that from time to time would haul his guitar around with him, and he'd find some spare time when we were together and sit down and strum a little bit and sing a little bit, and I vividly recall that. But in all honesty, who expected him at that time to be what he was later in life? None of us did. It was obvious that he was very talented, had a great, it goes without saying, a great amount of musical ability. But what I always remember, on one side was his music ability, and on the other side was his love for touch football. I mean, they were right there together. Football was more than just a game of football, which that's what it was for the rest of us. For Elvis, I'm not saying it was a matter of life and death, but it was pretty close to it from the way he played and the way he got involved in the game. He always wanted to be a wide receiver. That was his position. So we start the game. Elvis always wanted to run deep, and he wanted somebody that could throw the ball to him deep. He liked to jump up and catch the ball behind every defense out there. And there were times when the defense would back up and wouldn't let him go deep, but he was very agile. He could cut left, he could cut right. He wanted the ball. He wanted you to throw him the ball, and if you didn't do it, he'd let you know about it. Even though he was a nice, quiet guy, he would let you know that he was open and you didn't get the football to him. One of the last times that I saw him in church, he had already made big time, so to speak, at this time. I was standing in the foyer of the church a little bit before church started on one Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. The door opened and Elvis walked in, and on his arm was Juliet Prowse. And he walked straight to me. At that time, I was one of very few people there in that location, and he came over immediately, and we exchanged greetings and chatted. He immediately introduced Juliet Prowse, and we had a nice short talk. In a matter of 5 minutes, there were so many people around Elvis at that time. It almost made it impossible for him to come to a regular church meeting or anything of that nature once his name was all over the country.